Welcome to Oddball. I'm Charlotte Wilder. That's Amin Elhassan. And Amin, we need to start with what is obviously the biggest news of the day. Oh.
There it is. Put on my blazer and my suit.
It's a really fun, I forgot we had that. LeBron James Sr., because I guess we have to specify now, is taking a break from social media.
Wait, did he announce it? Oh, yeah. Nothing like announcing that you're taking a break from social media.
I can't. I sort of thought we stopped doing that. Like I thought everyone realized, like, oh, you're not supposed to announce it anymore.
I'm leaving. I'm unfollowing. I'm never listening to your show again. All those things. Yeah, we're doing all of that. I can't read what it says on the screen. Charlotte, can you read it for me?
I sure can. It says, and with that said, I'll holla at y'all. Getting off social media. And now the tweet is gone, but y'all take care. There you go. We got the gist. Do you remember when LeBron went dark for
Dark 30?
Zero Dark 30.
Yeah.
Have I told you this before that my friends and I came up with a term of when someone ghosts you, they go Zero Dark Flirty?
Oh, I thought you were going to go with because they've discovered, this is, I think, when they still showed likes on Instagram. Like, he was still liking certain posts, and so they called it Zero Dark Thirsty. That was a time.
Oh, see, that's good too. That's good too.
What a time that was.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like social media, everybody should probably be off it. It's definitely not like good for you. And if you're an athlete, I don't know, maybe have somebody else run it so that you're not the one looking at people saying you suck all the time.
Yeah, it's funny. He did retweet something before that tweet that might let us know why he left. It was a post from Rich Kleiman. Rich Kleiman is Kevin Durant's business partner, and Rich had tweeted, "It confuses me why some of national sports media still think that the best way to cover sports is through negative takes. Sports is the last part of society that universally brings people together, so why can't the coverage do the same?" You know what? LeBron and Rich have a point. Let's keep the rest of the show positive, Charlotte.
I like upbeat. That.
How about that? Yeah.
Let's be, as a part of the national media, let's be a part of the solution. Let's do the rest of the show speaking only in the most positive terms about everything we have to cover. If our producers could just let us know what's next on the docket.
We got it.
Oh.
All right. Okay. Sixers. We're talking Sixers. Doesn't necessarily have to be negative. What do we got about the Sixers?
That's not negative?
Well, what's in the news?
Okay. So Paul George re-injured his knee in case the Sixers season hadn't gone badly enough. I mean, I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can. I can't speak positively about the Sixers right now.
Well, okay. Look, it's tough, right? I feel bad for them. I feel bad for Paul George. It's the same knee that got hurt last time at the beginning of the season, the bone bruised knee. Remember we talked about how does a bone get bruised? But
yes, I still have questions
again. I guess
they're 2-12.
Yeah. And last night was the first time Maxey, Embiid, and Paul George all suited up on the same night because they got Maxey back from the hamstring injury, and like instantly Paul George is now hurt. Like there's a part of me that feels bad for them. I always feel bad for players who are injured, but I don't feel bad for their president of basketball ops, Daryl Morey, because this is what you bought. You opted into this. You knew what was the deal with the Carfax when you bought the car. And you said, I'm sure nothing's going to go wrong. And here it is. And again, I feel bad for the players. I feel bad for Coach Nurse, but it's like, you courted this disaster if you're Daryl Morey.
Totally. And I mean, we said this since the beginning. It's like, how is this going to work? Not only is Paul George injury prone, he's on the older side for an NBA player. And I think a lot of the time, or, you know, you want to believe that the people throwing money around are smarter than you are, or that they know better. Or it's like, if I think that putting Paul George with Joel Embiid is a terrible idea, well, the guy who is in charge of the basketball stuff definitely knows better. And there is some reason that it makes sense. And I remember, Amin, the first time I ever realized that sometimes it just doesn't make sense and they don't know better was when Buck Showalter for the Orioles in 2016, the wild card game, he did not pitch their insane best reliever, Zach Britton, and they lost the game. And it's like, what were you saving him for? Like, it's win or go home. It's stuff like that where it starts to, the cracks start to show. And you're like, maybe sometimes the people in charge of sports just make bad mistakes.
Buck Showalter, what a great baseball name.
Really good.
There's no other sport he could be in with a name like Buck Showalter.
He could be a defensive coordinator.
Not Buck Showalter. Not
Wink
Showalter.
Martindale? Come on.
See, that's different. Martindale, yes. Showalter, no way. Yeah, it happens all the time. It's like, why did the Seahawks pass when they had beast mode in their backfield? Like, why we see this all the time. Why did the Suns think that 3-point guards was going to work? Why did the Nets trade all their picks for guys who were clearly dilapidated in Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce? It happens all the time. And, so, like, there are two types of bad deals, I always say, right? There's the one where it's like, well, at the time, we all kind of thought, oh, pretty good deal. Like, let's say Paul George to the Clippers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're like, okay, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's a good young player, and that's a lot of picks. But, man, you got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. That's an amazing deal. And then in retrospect, it's like, not only was it bad because those guys kept getting hurt, but also you see what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander became. It was like, oh, my God, this was actually a bad deal. And then there are the deals where, like, on the day of, we're like, that's not good, bro. And it feels like that a little bit.
Yeah, you're like, I don't think I would have done that. But in this case, I really hoped we'd be proved wrong. Like, I really wanted this to work. It's just that I think when you have a record of 2-12, I think only 7% of teams in NBA history have gone on to make the playoffs. And just a reminder, the over under on this wins line for the Sixers was set at 51.5 on DraftKings, and they were minus 3,000 to make the playoffs before the season started. But we're not doing what Rich Kleiman said. We've been very negative once again. I mean, we have to be positive. We're not moving on until our producers help us inject some positivity into this Sixers story.
There's got to be something.
Oh, God.
Okay.
That is a video of Jared McCain, the Sixers rookie, dancing on TikTok, and I have to admit, it's making me smile. I mean, I don't know if it's making Sixers fans smile, but I think this counts as positivity.
I'm pretty sure this is not the music he was dancing to originally. So what is this royalty-free crap that we've dug up? I'm
sort of into it. I like his little dance. I could watch this. I could do the whole rest of the show just watching Jared McCain dance in the middle of our screen.
Our producer spent time looking for the right music and then he had to cue it up. So he was dancing on rhythm.
I'm so proud of them. Okay, I don't know if that's good news for the Sixers, but it was great news for Oddball. Let's just keep with the negativity here because I don't know what we're going to find.
Why would you keep with negativity?
Well,
you
because
just announced we're going to keep with negativity?
Yeah, because Embiid addressed the media after news of the Sixers locker room meeting leaked on Monday. Remember, among other things reported, Tyrese Maxey called out Joel Embiid for often being late. And per reporting from Tony Jones from The Athletic, Joel Embiid is pissed. He made it clear that he hears criticism and holds himself accountable. He's not mad about the meeting, but reports of the meeting should not have been made public. He said, whoever leaked that is a real piece of shit.
A real piece of shit. As Tony Baker, the comedian, says, a real piece of work. You're a real piece of work. You unbelievable. You know what?
What?
I support Joel Embiid in this assessment, right? Like, our season's not going great. We have a closed door meeting, everyone trying to figure out how we're going to get to the bottom of this, how we're going to get better, how we're going to do this, get this right. And instantly, whatever happens at that meeting happens. Who cares? Like, it matters to us because we're all here ostensibly to get this thing fixed. But then someone runs off and instantly leaks it to the media. And not just one person, right? They leaked it to Shams, they leaked it to Sam Amick, they leaked it to David Aldridge, right? It's leaks going left and right. And it wasn't like a month ago when we had this meeting, this is what happened. It's like, hey, instantly, it's all the details are out. It's hard for me if I'm a Sixer, if I'm Nick Nurse, if I'm a player, if I'm anyone who's in that room, it's hard for me to believe that whoever leaked that is not an op. This is opposition behavior. This is someone who's trying to drive a wedge between us. And I said this on Levitar's show earlier. I've had friends who work in the league say, I mean, you could never work for a team now. And I say, why do you say that? I was like, because like your sensibilities do not mesh with the modern day. And I'm like, what do you mean? And this is an example because Charlotte, I'll be honest with you. If that happened on a team that I worked on, I would say, I would call everybody in, everyone who was present at that meeting, everybody come in. Okay, everyone take out your phones, unlock them and show them. And I know some people, oh, it's an HR violation. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. We're going to find out who the snitch is. And if it's a staff member, you're fired. And if it's a player, you are either going to be cut or you're going to get traded, but you're never stepping foot in this practice facility again. I don't want you around here. I don't want anyone who would basically destroy what little fabric of trust we have within us. We are embattled. The world is saying that we're going to all fail. This is tough. This is hard work. We got to dig ourselves out of here. But the only way that happens is if we're working together. And if there's someone in this room who not only can't keep their mouth shut, but knows that when they tell this story, it creates more tension, more friction, more pressure on all of us in this room. This person is not our friend. So I can tell my kids, like, if your friend gets you in trouble, that's not your friend because a friend wouldn't do that. And so, but they tell me you can't do that to me. That violates that. I'm like, you know what, man? I don't care. But that's my approach. And I look around, Charlotte, I talk about this all the time. I wear two hats. One hat is this job right here. Whether it's here, whether it's Lebron show, whether it's Sirius XM radio, whether it's Basketball Illuminati, wherever I am, I talk about the game. So this news, godsend. It's content. We have something to talk about. We can, cut it up a million different ways. But the other hat I have is basketball guy. And as a basketball guy, I am so disgusted across the league how it is basically carte blanche for anybody to just go, like the moment anything happens, like someone was in that meeting, they got out that meeting and they got their phone out like, Shams, you'll never believe what happened. Ooh, and then Tyrese said this. What's wrong with you? And I'm not attacking Shams and I'm not attacking Sam or DA. These are all my guys. And they did their job and they do them well. I'm attacking the person who puts this out. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you pulling in the same direction and the same rope as everyone else?
Yeah.
Because Tyrese Maxey didn't, call and beat out in that meeting to embarrass him. He didn't call him out because he doesn't like him. Called him out because he's trying to hold him accountable because he's trying to get everyone moving in the same direction. Whoever let us know about that, you violated everybody's trust in there. Shame on you. I hope your career goes nowhere. How about that?
Well, I think that it's yes, this is an example of it, but Tim Legler was saying that he talked to Nick Nurse, and Nick Nurse in a month ago or so was like, I'm worried about our ability in some situations to really keep going. And Legler was like, well, that's very concerning if you're worried about how your team is going to deal with adversity. So if that's to happen, if those feelings are already in the building a month ago, and then it's coming to this, it's like, I don't know. I was watching the TV show Say Nothing about the troubles in Ireland, and like the minute someone snitches, everybody starts getting paranoid, and it devolves even further. And so, not to compare this to Ireland,
but again, like it is the comp is a group of people who are allegedly supposed to be pulling for the same thing, coming together to achieve a goal, and there's someone in their ranks who is not down with what's happening. And if that's the case, you could just leave, man. Like you could just leave. You don't have to be here if you don't rock with what's happening here. Because look, they have legitimate reasons for why they've been struggling. They've been injured. Their three best players have been injured a lot. If there's something process-wise, you don't like how Coach Nurse is coaching, you don't like your teammates or whatever, go whisper about that. Go whisper about like, yeah, man, people aren't on the same page, or like, or I don't think we're moving in the right direction. I don't think coach knows how to use this. It's not great, but I'm fine with that. But when it's a conversation, like people come trying to get the thing right, and your first inclination is to pick up your phone and tell somebody, get out of here. This is so negative. Can we get some more royalty-free positivity, please?
Oh, it's just more. of Jared McCain. It's just 3 Jared McCains
But
on our
it's a new
screen
dance,
now.
right? Well, the music is still the same. I thought they would have came with some different music.
No, I'm into it. I still like it. It still feels positive. Besides Jared McCain, I mean, there actually is one real silver lining to this situation. I am going to be positive for a moment here about the Sixers.
Jared McCain has played pretty well. That's a silver lining, right?
Yeah, so that's a silver lining. Also, the Sixers get to keep their pick if it falls in the top 6 selections of the draft lottery. So
that's where we're at now.
They could fall ass backwards into having Cooper Flagg on their team, and then we could just trust the process for another 9 years.
That's so sad, man. That's your positivity. Your positivity is holy shit, we might be so bad that we might get Cooper Flagg.
I'm going to be real positive. I'm going to be positive. Look, people could get healthy. They could find a way to repair this locker room. Stranger things have happened. It's just going to be a long road, and they have to build back that trust, because that is really the only thing that you have and the only thing that can work to bring people together. Let's move on to Hartenstein in Oklahoma City. The Thunder lost to the Wemby-less Spurs on Tuesday, but then yesterday, Isaiah Hartenstein made his OKC debut. He'd had a hand injury, and his debut can be summed up by this picture. He put up 13 points, 14 rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, 5 offensive rebounds, but they weren't. They were good.
I was offended,
and 4 blocks in 29 minutes, and there he is, dunking himself into the stratosphere. I mean, is it a wrap in the West now? They've got someone over 6'5" playing center.
It's not a wrap, but they have been injured. Like whatever we've seen of them atop the West is without Hartenstein. That was his first game last night. Mostly without Chet the last couple of weeks or whatever. Without Jalen Williams, the other Jalen Williams, who hasn't played a minute. He's obviously one of their bright spots as a big. So they've been playing literally without their centers this whole time. And they're still only against 3 or 4 losses. But the West is competitive, man. And look, I'll tell you, Golden State is for real. You may not want to believe it. I talked to Brandon Payne, who's Steph Curry's trainer, and we talked about like this Golden State depth, and was this planned or was this something they figured out? And they said, yeah, pretty much in training camp, Steph and Coach Kerr and the staff, like they're like, yeah, we don't need Steph to average 30 a game. And he's averaging 22 a game. And you might say, oh, he's having a down year. But it's the opposite. It's like, oh, this is the scariest version. This is the part where he doesn't have to be Superman. They've got enough there. So I think Golden State is real. I think Oklahoma City is real. I think as long as the Lakers win games, if you get to a postseason, you got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, that's real. And then the Denver Nuggets, hey, I don't give a how much they're struggling, whatever. If Jokic is on the floor, they're always going to have a chance to win every game, every series, every title.
Yeah, it's exciting. And, you know, the Mavs, Luka has a wrist injury now. He's going to be out for a while. I would personally be surprised, even with Luka and Kyrie, if they get to the Western Conference Finals again, just because of how deep the West is. And mostly, honestly, because of the Warriors and Oklahoma City. So I don't know. I think that...
Yeah. I mean, I would say like this time last year, we didn't think they would go to the finals. Hell, even after they did their trade for Gafford, that's really changed the complexion of their team. And they played a lot better in the second half of the year. I still don't think any of us were saying, oh, but the Mavs are going to go to the finals. But when that happening was they got into matchups, and they've got 2 guys that can win you a game, win you a quarter, win you a series. And so I'm not going to count them out, but I definitely have them behind those other teams I named.
Okay, you're right. I was just being negative again. I need to be positive. I'm just trying to be the voice in the sports documentary who says that Luka couldn't do it when they make the doc about him eventually.
When he's driving in the car and he's listening to Oddball for some reason.
Yeah, because for some reason, because it's a good ass show. I mean, gosh.
That's right.
All right, when we come back, guess that line.
Come on, man. Come on.
Welcome back to Oddball. That's the sound I'm going to hear in my nightmares tonight. I mean, we're going to try a totally original, never before been done segment called Guess That Line.
Okay.
We don't know the lines for Friday's NBA Cup games. We're going to be given 4 options here on what the line is for an NBA Cup game this Friday. So the lines here are as of Thursday morning, and we're going to start with the Celtics versus the Wizards. The Celtics are playing Gandalf in a cup game tonight. No, so the Celtics are 1-1 in NBA Cup play. They have a plus 2-point differential. They're second in the East Group C. Wizards are 0-1 in NBA Cup play, a minus 12-point differential. They are fourth in East Group C. So, Amin, we have to decide, is the line Washington -2? No. Is it Boston -11?
You dismiss Washington -2 rather quickly.
Sorry. Boston -15, Boston -18. And remember, point differentials here in NBA Cup games matter. So people are trying to run up the score, which I think is going to be factored into these lines.
It's at Washington. And we all know the Cap One Center is a daunting environment to play in. I mean, hell, the Wizards have won only like once there.
Oh.
That's daunting. It's
Rich Kleiman would not be impressed with us right now.
I'm being positive. I'm saying like, hey, man, it's tough to play there. Especially if the Wizards. I'm going to go Boston -15.
Yeah, me too. Although I sort of want to say -18 because that would be funny, but I think -15. -18 is rude.
That is rude.
Let's see what it is.
There it is. I know that sound.
Yeah.
A different game. You guys are recycling sounds now. Come on.
Trivia Tuesday.
Which Celtic do you think is going to have a standout game, Charlotte?
Derek White, just because he is like the most reliable guy when asked that question, who's going to have a standout game. It's like Derek White's going to play well. I don't know. Tatum's been trying really hard.
He's been feisty. You know? All right, let's move on. Let's move on to two teams that were in the NBA Cup semifinal a year ago, and now they're trying to find their way. Pacers versus Bucks. Now, the Pacers, they're 0-1 in Cup play, minus 13-point differential. That puts them fourth in East Group B. Meanwhile, the Bucks, surprisingly, this is a bright spot for them, 1-0 in Cup play, plus 14-point differential, and they're second in East Group B. So is the line Pacers -4? Pacers -2, Bucks -2, Bucks -4.
I mean, I'm going to say I think that the Bucks are going to be favored here because Chris Middleton has been cleared to play, so he'll be coming back, and because the Pacers have not been great in the NBA Cup and their point differential is low. I'm inclined to say Bucks -2, but also the Bucks have sucked, so it could be Pacers -2. But I think I'm going to say Milwaukee -2. What do you think?
I'm with you on that. I just can't see the Pacers being favorites on the road. So I'm going to go Bucks -2. What do we got?
What?
Bucks -4. Wow. The Middleton is cleared, but he's not returning yet. But apparently, that doesn't matter to the bookmakers. Just the positivity. There it is. There's that word. The positivity of Chris Middleton being closer to return is enough to give them a boost. Shout out to the Bucks.
Do you think that once Middleton returns, I mean, Giannis has been playing out of his mind. He's one of the top 3 points per game in the league this season. Dame's been playing well. It's sort of the rest of the roster that like can't get it together around them. Do you think Middleton can be the spark that actually helps this team get it going?
He could. He gives them something different. It gives them more shooting, which opens things up, which makes things easier for everybody. On the other side of the ledger, why do you think Halliburton has been struggling?
I don't know. Maybe because he posted a video congratulating 50 Cent on his residency in Vegas, and that was it's like the Giants boat picture in 2017 or whatever.
That's the Pacers version of the boat picture. All right, third game. Let's go. What do you got, Charlotte?
Warriors versus Pelicans. The Pelicans are hurt. The Warriors are 2-0 in NBA Cup play. Pelicans are 1-1, minus 34 points last in Group C. Is the line Warriors -8, Warriors -10, Warriors -12, or Pelicans -1? I'm going to say Warriors -10.
I'm going to go Warriors -12. They've been clicking, and the Pelicans, due to injuries, are terrible.
All right, go with a -8.
Is there something that we don't know here?
Yeah, what's going on? People think the Pelicans. So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging with us this week. We will see you on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. That is it for Oddball.
MJ's a GOAT.